Now, I did actually watch an actual story about Hilaria Baldwin.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you know what I learned from it?
What? Tell us what you learned.
Well, so many things. But the first thing I learned was that in the story, they called her Hilaria.
No.
Thank you, Holly.
Her name is Hilary. Let us be clear.
Yeah. Okay. So
let us be clear.
What did Hilary Baldwin do?
What did Hilary Baldwin do? So where did you watch that story, Colleen?
It was on, it was one of those like YouTube. It might have been like Access Hollywood or ET or something like that.
Okay.
Like one of those YouTube-y stories.
Sure.
Where I thought I was clicking on an article and then it started to talk to me. Yeah. I was like, no, I wanted to read it, but no.
Well, Hilaria Baldwin, we're talking about her today because she's talking about herself on Instagram. Again. And we have to bring it up because this is what we do here on the Colleen and Bradley Show. So Hilary Baldwin, whatever you want to call her, she is appearing to address the rumors of her quote unquote Spanish heritage scandal. Now, she hasn't addressed this directly and she still hasn't really addressed it directly today, but she is addressing something. So she decided to make a really long Instagram post. And in this post, she makes a reference to a quote, very painful experience, and then refers to herself and her family as being multicultural.
Okay, can we just really quickly back up the truck for those who maybe are like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. During the pandemic, there was some boredom. Right? Like, and okay, first of all, I will be clear, pandemic still happening. But when we were on lockdown, quarantine, etc., whatever you want to call it, we had some extra time on our hands.
Oh, yeah.
And the internet did what the internet does. And stories started to circulate. And I believe it started on Twitter with somebody who was like, you guys, Hilaria Baldwin has been grifting all of us for as long as you've known about her, laid out kind of her own, personal heritage that she seems to go between. I can't remember. Is it Colombian?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Like from Spain.
Oh, yeah. Her Spanish heritage and the fact that she grew up on the East Coast. She speaks with a Spanish accent. Her actual born name is Hilary. She switches between her Spanish accent and an American accent, but she leans very hard into this Spanish heritage that is in question.
Colleen, she leaned into it so hard on the Today Show that she faked that she couldn't remember the English word for cucumber. How do you say cucumber?
How do you say cucumber?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, so everybody, and then that was such a well-written tweet, well-investigated, well-presented tweet that the world started to talk about it, and it quickly became part of our conversation in pop culture, and that she has not yet responded directly to. And that's what she's now apparently talking about on her Instagram.
Yeah, and she's not even talking about, how do we put this? Because she's
vague booking.
She's vague booking, but she's also playing the victim.
Yeah.
In all of this.
Right.
Essentially, we're all wrong, but she is fine. And you guys, you don't know how hard it is for Hilaria Baldwin to be multicultural.
She calls it a brave choice to be fluid. Like, is that a thing? Culturally fluid? Like, I'm honestly asking.
No, I'm honestly sighing.
I know.
Because in the way that she's explaining it, I'm not sure, and I can't speak to that. Because
I just sort of feel like she's misappropriating or misrepresenting her own experience of life. This is somebody who was, again, raised in Boston.
Yes.
By parents with Spanish heritage.
I don't even know that for sure, Colleen. I want to say that her dad was from Kansas.
Okay, I need to do some research here.
Because I want to say that the way that the story unfolds is that her parents purchased real estate in Spain.
Right.
And so sometimes They were of the type of people who would summer as a verb, and go to Spain.
Right.
And so Hilaria would spend some time in Spain every year. And so that's where the multicultural Spanish heritage aspect of the history of Hilaria Baldwin comes into play.
Okay, here, I'm going to read from her Wikipedia because I think this... the
internet has done the work.
Have they ever. Okay, her early life as defined in Wikipedia. Baldwin was born Hilary Lynn Hayward Thomas in Boston in January of 1984. She's the daughter of Dr. Catherine Hayward and David Thomas Jr. Her mother grew up in Massachusetts and spent her career practicing medicine there at the Massachusetts General Hospital. Her father was an attorney with an undergraduate degree in Spanish literature from Haverford College and a law degree from Georgetown University. They apparently, as a couple, her parents founded International Integrators, which is an integrative health organization. They did move to Spain and settled in Mallorca in 2011. Hilaria.
Well, she would have been a full adult in 2011.
Baldwin is of English, French, Canadian, German, Irish, and Slovak descent.
Okay.
What was missing in that?
Okay. What did you say?
I said English,
got it.
French, Canadian, German, Irish, and Slovak.
Oh,
something's missing.
There's no Spanish.
What? No way. Her paternal grandfather was from Ames, Iowa.
Okay, I knew there was a Midwest connection in there.
Yeah. So again, this is somebody who has a fascination with Spanish culture and had a second home in Spain at one point.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting from the Wikipedia.
And it's like, yeah. And with this new Hilaria Baldwin Instagram post.
Yeah.
She's shaming all of us for not understanding how difficult it is to live her life. And that's where it's really, it's like, no, actually, here's the deal. We all got upset because you were perpetuating a lie, and you were perpetuating a lie in service of your own career.
Yeah.
And that's where the beef comes from with all of this. It's like, well, you just decided that you wanted to take on these affectations, and then you sold it to us like this was your authentic self, when in fact it is just a grift.
It is absolutely a grift. And honestly, this was very predictable that she was going to turn this around and make herself sound like the victim of this, because that's how she's been behaving about it all along.
Yeah. And then she tries to shame us, Colleen. In this Instagram post, she wrote, "People will try to find the reason to invalidate you. Therefore, their attacks seem justified in their eyes. They can hate, poke fun, and shame because you asked for it through your audacity to be you." Ooh, she served it to us, Colleen. She just has the audacity to be herself. Shame on us.
Okay. So here's my response to that is the following. Hilaria,
honey,
Hilary, you get to choose how you're going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to move through space, how you are going to interact with people, what language you will speak in, whether or not, you get to make those choices.
Yes, choices, life choices.
Those choices are not without consequence, and other people will react to that. They will, regardless of what it is. That's the world. That's life.
Such as?
You don't get to exist in a vacuum. You do not get to create who you are and assume that nobody else is going to have an opinion about that.
In this kind of messaging from Hilary Baldwin, not actually addressing what the issue was and then shaming the world for having an opinion and being critical about what we all saw. What's disappointing about this is there would have been a lot more respect to be like, boy, you know what? Yeah, I did that. And I'm going to move on. But instead, the conversation keeps rolling out, and now she's trying to shame us for pointing out the obvious. Nice try.
But also, let's also just say this is a behavior that is also typical of her husband.
Oh, sure.
Alec Baldwin. Whenever he has anger issues, it's not him. it's everybody else.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's
Okay,
definitely a lack of responsibility taking that occurs in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in that way, I'm not surprised by this. I am going to make a choice, just like Hilaria Baldwin has made a choice, to just ignore it. I mean, I know we just talked about it, but now I'm just going to ignore it.
Well, and that's, ultimately, Colleen, I'm glad that you came to that decision. I want to go along with your decision because somebody like Hilaria Baldwin, I'm fascinated at where her fan base is.
Right.
Does her fan base actually exist? Who is here for this? And why are they supporting it?
Right?
So let's make the choice. Hey, Hilaria, if you just want to live in your fantasy world, then we'll just let you do that.
Yeah, I will be unbothered by it.
Unbothered.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That's all, folks.